Historical markers. We see them along roadsides, in parks, on bridges, or buildings. They remind us of our past, how we got here, and what lessons were learned along the way. Yet, even ordinary unmarked places often hold secrets and stories. They lie buried under our feet or lost in the underbrush. They are places with memories, covered by concrete and asphalt, but never completely lost, only waiting to be rediscovered. The DuPage County Hidden Lake Forest Preserve is a natural oasis in the heart of DuPage County, Illinois. The 390-acre property and the adjacent Morton Arboretum are protected today from the ravages of development which surrounds them. It's a sacred public-private trust. "200 years ago, the Potawatomi people, known as the Keepers of the Fire, lived here and also considered the land sacred. The fertile soil was watered by the east branch of the DuPage River. The rolling hills were covered with ancient oaks. Herds of migrating buffalo passed through. Elk and white-tailed deer stayed year-round. Following the 1821 and 1833 treaties of Chicago, the Potawatomi people departed. Some were forcibly removed to Missouri, Iowa, Kansas, and later Oklahoma. Today, their descendants thrive in places like Shawnee, Oklahoma, and Crandon, Wisconsin. In the 1830s, a trickle of homesteaders like Ferris and Electa Barney occupied the land, built a mill race, cut timber, and cultivated the soil. In the following decades, the trickle turned into a flood of homesteaders, land speculators, and farmers buying, selling, and changing the face of the land itself. In 1912, much of what is now Hidden Lake was purchased by Arthur W. Cutton, once the second richest man in America. Cutton, known as the Wheat King at the Chicago Board of Trade, built a sprawling country estate he called Sunny Acres. During the Roaring Twenties, Cutton's estate mirrored those of his wealthy nearby contemporaries, Joy Morton and Dan and Ada Rice. After the stock market crash of 1929, Cutton was the target of a federal investigation surrounding the practice of short selling. He defended himself and avoided conviction on technicalities. As America plunged into the Great Depression, Cutton and his wife Maud were attacked by a band of robbers who raided a dinner party at Sunny Acres, robbed them, and left them and their servants for dead in an airtight vault in the basement of the estate. When a staff member pried open the vault's door, saving their lives, Cutton tapped into his vast resources and launched a campaign using private detectives to bring the gang to justice. After Cutton's death in 1936, the property was sold to an associate of the infamous Chicago gangster Al Capone. The gambler William R. Big Bill Johnson went to prison for tax evasion in the 1940s. Mysteriously, in 1950, Johnson received an end-of-the-year pardon from none other than President Harry S. Truman. The property remained in the Johnson family through the 1970s, when it was home to a popular truck farm known as Smitty's Farm. By then, Sunny Acres had fallen into ruin. Then, in 1980, the DuPage County Forest Preserve purchased the land, demolished Sunny Acres, and in the process discovered two giant stone goddesses depicting commerce and labor buried in the overgrown woods. The goddesses reside today in front of the Chicago Board of Trade at LaSalle and Jackson Streets. These are the secrets of Hidden Lake.